So welcome to this video of Intro to Git. This video I'll talk about Git, version control, and a little bit about GitHub and how you can use them to maximize how you can create your projects at any hackathon or any projects you make in the future, right? So let's get into it. So let's paint a scenario. So let's hypothetically, you're at a hackathon, hopefully Hoth, this upcoming Sunday, and you've been coding for the past 30 hours straight and you're almost done with the project, but suddenly you realize something in your code is wrong and you forgot when you added a feature and now it's broken, right? Because all the caffeine from like the 30 cans of Monster that you drank got to your head and you forgot everything. But luckily, Git is here to help because Git helps you keep track of your history, why you save as you go along to make these projects. And if you use GitHub, you can even collaborate with your friends and eventually win that $350 Amazon gift card, right? So let's talk about what we're going to do today. We're going to first talk about what Git is, a little difference of Git and GitHub, and then we're going to set up Git, create a project, do some changes, make some saves, and we're going to talk about branching, which is a unique element that's Git provides, merging, and a little bit about GitHub so you can collaborate with your friends. And at the end, I'll give you a little demo and cheat sheet for all the commands that we're going to talk about. So what is Git? So Git is a tool for version control, which is another word for saving your projects, right? So Git basically takes a snapshot of your code so far and it saves it. It's really useful for group projects because you can, or big projects, because you can see why you save these changes. Say I have a project that I said I added a button and fixed this bug, and you can see exactly when you added the button and when you fixed the bug, right? So you can another good thing about Git is you can fix bug and implement feature at the same time without conflicting each other. And that's something about branching that we're going to talk about in a bit. And it's super helpful with group projects because say Bobby added a button, but I didn't know about it. But I can check the Git history and then I can see exactly why he did it and what he did. So a good reference for Git is that Git is like Google Doc history, where it keeps track of all your changes, or like a checkpoint in game, where it marks the your progress as you go along a game or making a project. But the biggest difference of Git is that Git is not GitHub. They're not the same thing, right? I'll explain a bit later, but Git is local, which is on your computer. It does not need internet. And GitHub is online, which is like a platform. And I'll explain it later when I'm talking about GitHub. Oh, like right now. So Git is a tool to keep track of your changes, as I said. You don't know how yet, but I'm just telling you right now. It's like your personal assistant that writes down what you do and how you did it. Now, GitHub is like a platform for you to share your projects with other people, right? It's like YouTube, it's like Instagram. And you can think of Git like Google Doc and then GitHub like Google Drive, where the Google Doc belongs in like Google Drive have many, many Google Docs, right? And Google Doc is where you make all the changes, and that's where you build your projects. Google Doc is where you write your essays, and Google Drive is where you like store all your essays for all your different classes. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, I'll explain a little bit more later. So technically wise, Git uses something called command lines, which needs your terminal and shell. I'll show in a bit. So you need to like basically type some code into your computer in order to use Git, right? On the other hand, GitHub has good inter user interface, which means it has buttons, it has links, it has good design and graphics. And basically, it looks prettier and it's much easier to use compared to Git. And GitHub supports multiple users on a project, right? As I said, Git is on your own local computer, which means it's not connected to the internet. That means you can only work on it by yourself. GitHub is on the internet, and since many people can be on the internet, like many people can work on a single project, right? And I'll explain how to later, but right now I'm just telling you the concept of how to do it. So let's set up. If you have a Mac, go ahead and go to Homebrew, or this link right here, and then copy this text into your terminal, the thing I circled in red here. If you click this symbol here, you should be able to see it. And then you copy that into your terminal. And where is your terminal? You can go to your home desktop, press Command Space, which is going to pop up a spotlight search. Type in terminal, click on terminal. Okay. And then you copy and paste this link right here into your terminal and then press enter. Don't press any other character or it might mess it up. So after it says some crazy computer words, it'll stop moving and you should be able to see your name right here and like a percent sign. So after you see that, you type brew install git. Ignore this dollar sign right here. Brew install git. I already installed it, so it doesn't really make sense for me to install it again. I'm gonna cancel it. But you should be able to see your name and what you're on after you're done. And after you've done that, you can type git dash dash version to check that you've actually downloaded it. And it should say like git version and then something. If you have some confusion, search up Git download Mac or on Google or something. All right, Windows, you go to this website right here, or you can search up Windows Git install, and then you should see this page right here. And then you click to install, right? It's going to download a file onto your computer. You click on that file, open it up, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, you don't have to use terminal or shell for this one. You just download the file. And Linux, same thing. You just type sudo apt-get install git dash all in your terminal or shell or bash or whatever your command prompt is, like earlier. I don't have a Linux or a Windows, so unfortunately I can't demonstrate. If you have some confusion, I'm sure there's a million YouTube tutorial that can help you with that. Okay. Now we're going to talk about what everyone needs to do. So after you've downloaded in your terminal or shell or um, in your terminal or shell or any command prompt, you want to type git space config space dash dash global space user dot name space and then quotation mark, put your name in the quotation mark, right? And then you do the same for your email. And then after you've done these two, you can check what you've completed by using git config dash dash list. So I can do git config dash dash list. And that should say what my user, oh shoot. That should say like what your username is and where your Git is connected to if you have a GitHub, right? Not really relevant here. So now we're going to talk about how to actually use Git. So the first thing we want to do is remember how I said Git is a way to track your history, right? So the first thing we have to do is to make a project in the first place so we can have history to track, right? So that brings us to creating a repository. A repository is like a project or a folder, right? If you create a repository within a folder, it takes all the files in that folder and then turns it into like one big project. It tells the computer, hey, I want this folder to be a project, right? So how you do that is you type git init in your terminal, and then you can initialize a repository. Okay, so let's take a look. Right. So for now, repository means project. So right now, oh, CD means change directory. So if I'm on my desktop right now and I have a folder called Hoth Workshop, I can CD space Hoth Workshop. And this basically tells the computer to like go into this folder, right? And I can type git init. Okay, so it says initiated empty git repository in this place, right? So if you open the folder, it actually has nothing in it, right? So if you write ls, this lists the content that's in this folder. But since there's nothing in it, there's going to be nothing listed, right? But Git actually creates a hidden document right here. I'm not going to talk about what it is or what it saves because it's way too complicated. But when you initiate a repository, it creates a hidden folder in the folder you want to make the project of, right? Or another way is if you go to your favorite IDE, drag this over here and open it, and then pull up a terminal. You can also do a git init here, but I already initiated one, so it wouldn't make sense for me to make another one. All right, so I'll be demoing in this folder for today. So now we're going to talk about commits. Oh, commits and staging. So after you make your changes, now you want to save your work, right? So think of committing and the process of saving like meal plan, right? So there are basically, there are, or you can save it as, think of it as a checkpoint for Mario or a Google Doc, right? So you commit something, that means you're creating a checkpoint in your project that you can refer back to for like a previous earlier version of code, right? So you can commit after you make a button, and then commit after you add a feature, commit after you fix a bug, and then if any of these point you want to go back to, you can always just jump right back to. Right. So there are three stages of committing, basically. We call this like the staging um, process. So committing is like creating a checkpoint, like I said. So there are three stages, working the directory, staging area, and Git repository. It's very similar to meal planning, which is you cook up a bunch of food and then you put it in your fridge and then you can eat it at a later date, right? Usually for gym bros or anyone who wants to, I don't know, be organized in their life. So a working directory is like the kitchen, right? It's the files you're working on right now. So you're cooking up the ingredient, you're cooking up the meat, you're blanching the vegetable or like cooking up the rice. So it's just like cooking the ingredient in the kitchen. So in coding, it's like I'm adding this feature, I am um, fixing this bug. I'm basically editing the file right now, right? So that's nothing new. Next one, the staging area is just like organizing. It's a place to organize which file you want to actually be included in the commit, right? It's like, uh, okay, I'm gonna make a plate that has some rice, some meat, and then this one I'm gonna put some tomato, right? And then you have another plate that's like, this one I want rice, potato, and then some broccoli. Right. So you can choose based on your changes from the earlier working directory. You can pick out what you want to add to your commits and then actually create a checkpoint like right there. Right. So a good example why you will want to do this is say you edited four files, two files for creating a button and two files for fixing a bug. Right. So you want to create two commits for those four changes. You want to create the first commit on the two buttons that you created, and then another commit that's the two bugs that you fixed, right? So that's why the staging area is where you get to choose which file you want to add into your commit. And finally, the Git repository is a hidden folder that I just showed that keeps track of all your project changes, right? It's like a big timeline that has all the commits stamped on. So think of this as the fridge, where after you what's it called? Like organize all your food and meal plans, you get to like just put them in the fridge, and then your fridge contains them, right? Git repository, think of it like a folder that contains all your changes. Okay, so let's let's uh let's demonstrate. So let's create a folder, or you can use this command touch and then file name to create one in terminal if you want to impress your friends. And then let's make some changes to this file, and then let's add this file to the staging area using this command, git add dot or git add, and then you choose the file name you want to add. And then finally, let's commit it into our refrigerator, aka repository. As you can see here, you can work on a folder, you can stage it, put it into your meal planning area, and then you can commit it to put it into your fridge, right? We'll talk about checkout and pull in a bit, but right now, this way is the only way we want to care about right now. Okay, you go up, working directory, staging area, and then repository. So let's create a file. I'm going to use the touch command. So we use touch. I have a friend named Javen, javen.py. No, I don't need quotation marks. So that I basically created a file named javen.py, right? So in this javen.py, I want to print join talk on Sunday, right? And I save it by using Command S. It's the same everywhere, Control S if you're on Windows. So now, as you can see, we're in the working directory, right? We can make changes here, and then, but it's not saved into our big repository yet. So now we've cooked up the meat. Now we want to plate it. We want to put it into our meal plan, right? So we use the command git add. Dot means add every change that I've made into the staging area, like right here, right? The changes, the staging area, and then commit. So another way you can do this is say print I love hack, right? So another change that we have, now we can use git add, and then I only want Jaden to be changed, right? Let's make another folder called Hannah. Hi, and say, um, British is awesome, right? So if you see right here, we have changes to these two files, but we only want to add javen.py into our staging area. So we can use git add javen.py. And now javen.py is in our staging area, but Hannah is not, right? So if I commit right now, Hannah would not be in the repository, only Javen would. How do we do that? We use git commit dash n means message, and then quotation mark, which means you're putting in a string, right? It's telling the compiler, this is not a command, this is a text. We add, I just made Javen. Okay, right. So it's successful because nothing is red here. I'm kidding. Because yeah, nothing says an error was made, right? So okay, okay. Yeah. So now we can see you can use the command. Oh, wait, not yet. Okay. So now you can see we made Javen in here. We edited, we added it into the staging area by using git add, and then we committed it into the repository using the git commit function command. Okay. Next. Oh, and you can use git status to see like what's going on right now. Because right now I have this IDE, which is the code editor that tells me like what's being changed, what's in the staging area. Say let's say you don't use VS Code. You don't have this like privilege of seeing this. You can use git status to see like what's going on, what is unchanged, what is in the staging area, and everything. Right. See right here, it says Hannah is it says use git add to add this to the staging area. Right. If I add this to the staging area, I can just click a button and I use git status again. I see that it's green now and it's in the staging area. Okay. And we can also use git log to see what previous commits. So right here, oh, let me put this up a little. That's way too big. Sorry. Okay, git log. We can see that author, that's my username, and then the date, and then what comment I made. Oh, I remember. You want your comment message to be really specific and detailed about what you done to the program. You don't want it to be super long though. You want to be able to, a good rule of thumb is in 6 months, can I look back and know exactly what I was trying to do, right? So May Javen, this would not make sense in 6 months, but I don't know, just think about like how you can be specific but keep it short. So I see the time, who did it, and the email of who did it, and then the basically a title of what this commit is. So using git log. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, branching. Okay, now we're going to talk about branching. So branching lets you diverge from the main line of development, so your changes wouldn't affect the main branch, whether it's adding a feature or fixing a bug. So what does that mean, right? So if you see right here, say I'm making this big website and I want to add a button onto this website, but I also don't want to like, I have to change a lot of things in the website in order to add this button. But if I mess up this button, I have to backtrack all the way to the earlier version of when my commit was still working and everything was fine. And this is just a really um, this is kind of scary because it's kind of hard to find exactly when it stopped working for this button, right? And also, what if I also want to fix a bug at the same time I'm adding this button, right? So what branching does is it's almost like a multiverse from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like Loki when he stole the Space Stone and he went to the TVA and all that. Basically created a branch from the main timeline that's whatever you do here is not affecting whatever's happening down here, right? So even if Loki killed Thanos in his branch timeline, it would not kill Thanos in the main timeline, right? So another good thing about branching is that you can work on two issues or multiple issues at once. You can fix a bug and you can add a feature at the same time because you're branching off and whatever you do on those branches does not affect the main line of development. And later in the video, I'm gonna talk about how you can like push them back into the main line of development using something called merging. So it's a way to test uncertain things and a way to uh, like a safety for when if you mess up. But you can only be active on one branch at a time as you're editing, which is fine because you can switch between branches very easily. And this is how. So we have three commands here, two commands here. So git branch and then create a name is to create a new branch, right? Git checkout is to go to that branch. So git branch, let's say Loki stole the time stone. Git branch time stone. So it would go right here. And then, but you're still on the main line of development, right? So you use git checkout time stone to go to this branched timeline, right? Oh, sorry. Or you can use git checkout dash b branch name to do both at the same time. But since if you're a beginner, do these two at first to understand. So let's take a look. Let's go back to Javen and let's create a branch called git branch mark, right? So we see nothing here because there's really nothing to display after you created it. There's no error message. That means it's successful. So now we want to get checkout. Whoops. Okay, get checkout mark. Right. Now we're on the mark branch. So any edit that we make to mark right now does not affect the main branch. Right. The main branch is the big branch. And say, print hello, Daniel, or something. Right. So we can also just do this. Uh, Mark branch commit. We commit this. Okay, so now we have a commit on the Mark branch, right? So we can see that instead of main, we're on the Mark branch, and the Mark branch has a commit. Okay, and then okay, now we're going to talk about something called merging. So after you make a branch, you do your editing, you do your stuff. Now you want your button to go back to the main website, right? So this is something called merging, and these are the commands you can already see. As you can see here, here's the main branch. You create a button here, and then you can use something called get merge to push it back onto the main line of development. So it goes, as you can see, it's like the same color. It goes in the same way, you know. It should have like more dots here for better visual representation, but it's okay. So merge basically combines the changes you've made in your branch. And that comes up with something called merge conflict. If hypothetically you make a button that says character go left, and then your friend makes a button that says character go right, right? But they're the same button. So that's a logical error, right? So you can't go left and right at the same time. You have to choose one. So that's something called a merge conflict. Most of the time, it's automatically implemented by Git or GitHub, but sometimes you have to like manually go in and fix and decide like, do I want the character to go left or go right? Right. So let's talk about merging and how to do it. So you use two commands, git checkout, which is go between branches, and then git merge, right? So first you want to, whoops, hello. Okay, whatever. So first, okay. So we are on branch mark. So first we want to go to the main branch where we want our changes to be, right? So now we're on the main branch. And now we want to combine the changes that we've made in branch mark into our main branch by using git merge. So git merge mark. And it's that easy. One file is changed, two inserts, one deletion, right? Uh, okay, I'm not sure what's deleted. Maybe I put like a extra space or something, but the two inserts are, I think, I love hack and hello Daniel. I kind of forgot what I edited, but one file is changed, which is javen.py. Right, so now main has every commits that the mark branch had, and then it has every change that was in mark in the main. Right. So that's that about merging. if there's any issue, GitHub will tell you exactly why it's not working. It will tell you the merge conflict. So now we're going to talk about GitHub, right? It's not Git, it's GitHub. So GitHub is a platform like YouTube and Instagram, right? But instead of seeing other people's vacations, you see their coding projects. And on GitHub, you can clone projects, which I'll explain later. And then you can also send pull requests to projects, which I will also explain later. No, I won't. I will explain right now. So pull requests basically think of GitHub as Google Drive again, and Google Docs are the projects that people's made, right? So on GitHub, it's like a platform you can go in and see like what people has on their projects. They can make it private or public. And then say you go to a public project and say you want to contribute to the project. Say you want to add a button that like, I don't know, does something for the benefit of the project. You can send in a pull request to the project and like what changes you want to make to it. And then the owner of the project can either approve or deny your pull request. And if they approve it, it will pull your changes into their project and update their project, right? So it's basically a way for you to request changes into like someone else's project. Pull request is I want I want the owner of the project to pull my changes, right? Pull my changes. Okay. So now, the best thing that Git is known for is collabing with other people, right? So you can upload your project onto GitHub, like a post, like an Instagram post. You can upload your coding project onto GitHub, and then uh, now we're going to talk about how to access them and how to update them, right? So cloning. Okay, so cloning is downloading online repository onto your local computer. Say someone else uploaded a repository on GitHub and you want to like make some change to it. Well, the first thing you have to do is clone it by downloading on your own computer so you can run it by yourself, right? GitHub only stores the code. It can't run your actual the contents. It stores them like text files, basically. And you do this by using the command git clone and then URL on the terminal. You can find the URL on the GitHub website by going to the project and then press download, and then it should be right there, right? Just copy the link. It's really easy. Just go explore GitHub. It'll be fun. So right now we're in the Hoth workshop folder, and luckily I created one earlier. So we can use git clone this. Oh, and you probably don't want to use my repository because I might delete it. So we use git clone and I typed in my URL. And so basically it downloaded a folder, right? I downloaded a project or a repository from GitHub that I created a few days ago. And in this folder, it basically says these stuff. And it's marked up high, right? So great. Now we can edit other people's projects. So, but here's the issue, right? Now we're going to talk about how to use GitHub with push and pull, right? Say you downloaded the project 5 days ago, but 3 days ago, your friend made a button that you don't know about, right? He told you about it, but you don't have a code. So should you delete the project and then download it again? Because that seems like a kind of a waste, right? Luckily, Git thought of it and made a command that's basically updates your current code to the newest version of the code, and that is git pull, right? So if I use git pull, no one's making any changes to Mark right now because I'm the only one with access to it. So if I git pull, nothing's going to change. But usually, if someone made changes, it would just automatically adds the change into the file, right? So I can make another one, say Mario and Luigi, right? I made some changes. Now git push, another command, is push your updated code back onto the online repository, right? Pull, post the newest code down to here, and then push it up to the online repository. So I made some changes, print Mario and Luigi, and then I use git push. And, oh, whoops, git push, and then that HTTPS. Oh God, okay. HTTPS. Where is my, oh, here it is. Okay, HTTPS GitHub. Yeah. Okay, so, oh, sorry. Am I in Git? I am Git. Sorry. Give me 1 second. CD demo again. So now I'm in the actual demo folder with the thing I pulled, right? Earlier, the Hoth workshop is not actually on GitHub, so it wouldn't really like they don't know where to go, right? So now I'm in the demo folder. Now this was on GitHub, so now they know how to go. So let me do it again. Git pull, look, already up to date. That means no changes being made. And then I can put git push, and then boom, I added this Mario and Luigi onto my online GitHub repository. Now it says everything is up to date. And I think for the first time, you have to use this command git push dash u origin and then put like your main. So this creates a upstream. It's a lot of detail. If you're interested, you can Google it, but this command should work if you're pushing it for the first time after publishing it. And yeah, okay. So now I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. You can take a screenshot of all these commands and what they do. And oh wait, one more thing is that about cloning, right? I forgot to mention earlier, but cloning is not only downloading the current code of a repository, but it's also downloading all the commits that's been made in the past. And basically the history of how that project is created is downloading everything about that project onto your local computer, more than just like a zip file of all the codes, right? So yeah, that's the power of GitHub because it has so much detail and you have so much control of what you want to save and how you want to save it. And also, Git is so powerful because instead of saving all your big chunks of, say, these 4 lines of code, instead of saving every single character, each commit, it only saves what you changed uh, and then adds it on to the previous version. Like I only changed line 4 earlier, so Git will only add line 4 in my commit. So it's super lightweight and it's not very uh, memory. Like, it doesn't cost much memory to save because it saves so little and it's very efficient on how it saves. And yeah, now you're ready to build your own project and get that $350 winner prize. And thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.